In that period, VH1's reunion specials started to draw stagnant numbers in 2017, which led many to conclude that the rot started. However, beneath all that Dipset nostalgia, there are snake holes, hush money, and a fake pregnant belly fat world. When Young inquired as to whether this was the case, even Mona Scott-Cray became aware that she was crying. Cable TV finds it too shocking. Q-Skill's work was aware of a solo buzz that was hindered by a yearning for 2005 and shoddy tour flyers. What are two hustlers doing in the dusty spotlight? Then insiders of a fraudulent baby scheme present a new tragedy, which the shady lunch at Harlem Tavern was too much for Chrissy's former nail technician to handle. Chrissy's mimosa sagged. As he tapped his iced-out watch, Cam growled, "What if everyone thinks I'm expecting again? Please don't speak. Close. I swear to you," Cam said. "We all eat well if you sell it well." He pulled out his other phone. The public one that didn't cringe at the brunch on baby scams that turned into baby plans. Chrissy also refollowed befriended reality show producers, who promised never to work with him again, and reconnected with previous brand sponsors on Instagram. Jim was not aware of the backstage breakdown following the 2011 incident, even though she would text him at 2 in the morning. "I love you, Daddy." Jimmy thought so. When I was covertly arranging payments for dubious ultrasound invoices in the spring of 2022, Chrissy started to show a suspicious bump on her selfies, with the caption, "She's glowing." In the meantime, Harlem Barber Hops said, "She's beaming, but that belly looks like a pillow." Meanwhile, Cam used every ounce of power he possessed to tease the team about bringing them back to life. Enigmatic Instagram posts with baby symbolism, and making fun of Jim harshly. A real man owns up to his mistakes. It was successful in nurturing hisids. There were sponsorship opportunities everywhere, including pregnant pictures, parenthood podcasts, baby products, and, according to one source, Accuracy received a 5-figure payment from a well-known vitamin company for a pregnancy wellness video on YouTube. However, they were unaware that her bank account was growing. Not in her womb. Things get messy at this point because these twotidents just pretend to be going to OBGYNs as far as possible. They made the lies seem more credible by using Jersey, who allegedly had her license revoked in 2018 because of fabricated medical records that were shown on camera. Personal peril. There was fake blood in the documents, hazy bathroom images with Chrissy's artificial belly tests, fake sonograms, and fake pregnancy appointment invoices that were all made on a burner laptop and saved to Anna's gym, 2 blocks from a hookah lounge. Cam was sitting there giggling with his inner demons. She gave Chrissy the encrypted USB before any suspicious prawn agent could ask for the date's confirmation. If your advertisement has any reality TV tiers, Circle Harlem is still stupid enough to buy it. Although not shocking, everything might have stayed concealed as well. Save for one mistake that even Cam's paranoia failed to fix. Yes, 3 empty bottles of prenatal medication that were removed from that famous hotel room in Midtown were connected to the same housekeeping staff member who spotted a delightfully flat pregnancy belly band in a trash can. A Harlem gossip blogger in dire need of likes received a picture from her. The #Chrissy fake bum trended within hours, and instead of congratulations, people's screeching dips bombarded Cam's phone with death threats. Even the queen of "give me the trash and I'll spin it," Mona Scott-Young, declined to give her back. After he stabbed his brother, he called. Since the leak was simply the appetizer, Watit gets hotter for clout money. Digital folders, screenshots, and bank records detailing hush money and improper prenatal care revealed by an unnamed whistleblower, whom some say was a disgruntled intern from Cam's short-lived podcast. I got a room at a hotel. Fake LLC identities, such as Mommy Empire Consulting LLC, were used to make reservations, and fans did what they do best. Every mistake and meme was connected, burning the whole plan into the detic for next week. Talk about the dates of detective matches. Chrissy's supposed due date for her club appearances, when she allegedly had abs by midnight but a bump during breakfast, had Twitter ablaze all night. Was Jim caught off guard? Since the debut of the Dipset's mixtape, Cam has been a snake. Jim, you guys attempted damage control by using an Instagram emoji of prayer hands. However, if you believed this to be the final leak, buckle up because Harlem's messiest soap opera has this far-from conclusion. Here are a few more screenshots. This time, Dot has been freed from Chrissy's cousin's burner phone recordings, private voice notes on iCloud, and an odd contract with a fake public relations company that promised a viral pregnancy reveal. Relevant data. Cam disappeared without a word. Harlem was aware of his sinful or premeditated actions. His mysterious live sluggish freestyle diss track and even one angry tweet made him the next chess move. However, when cameras saw her falling out of a vehicle and running, Chrissy was unable to cover. "I left the nail salon with no belly, ring, and no idea how to turn this Priya automobile accident around," the vitamin brand said after paying back the pregnant photo. Studio's lawsuit threat resulted in a new salary. Even worse, one employer wrote an angry message that read, "We do not tolerate fake babies," and all partnerships were immediately terminated, and the internet crashed again. Therefore, if you think the scam ended at the hotel that was revealed, stop and take clouds. Take a deep breath. It was the ticking time bomb that exploded Harlem's last fairy tale romance, destroying loyalty and causing Tori and Cam to be the target of a government audit. Unexpected things happened. Additionally, it brought some old friends back into the shadowy spotlight they claimed to have left behind. Part 2 is about 2. If you were hoping that Harlem gossip would finally stop, you were mistaken. You'll wish. This was just awful. Chrissy and Camron not only exposed the real Harlem with their reality TV show, but they also gushed receipts and flipped a switch that turned the dusty backstage secrets of Harlem into a federal city show. Twitter memes were sufficient to expose the hoax. This is how it happened. 2 days after the Hashrissy fake bump broke the trending charts, the same Aradat intern who tossed out the hotel band invoices and the burner laptop screenshots continued to do so. No one, not even Mona Scott, with her unbreakable NDAs, could sweep South under the reunion rug. On a suspicious message board, a whistleblower posted a single encrypted file called Mommy Empire PR Plan _fall, which included numerous emails, WhatsApp chats, and signed pitches detailing how Chrissy, Cam, and Twashity public relations managers, a 6-month viral parenting narrative that included a Phase 4, a false ultrasound leak in the second phase, and a paparazzi bump sighting in the third arc. Wise, used to convince fans to queue with tissue boxes and hashtags pleading with VA to screen a special reunion, as part of a marketing contract that led to a Phase 5 strategic miscarriage. The reunion and sympathy plot said that in addition to staging a pregnancy, they in order to create a sense of grief. Half of the internet demanded that Chrissy be banned from all networks that had ever promised her a reunion check after seeing the bullet point explosion in Harlem, while the other half decried Cam as the evil puppet master genius, which prompted the Jim Jones, the Queen of Harlem, shouted into the phone, forgetting the spiritual words, while more than 200,000 people watched him sit in a dark studio room, his voice half off and trembling. Jones referred to himself as the last devoted king of Harlem. So forget about the praying hands. Have you ever had such a strong love for someone that you gave in to moo twice? You people are laughing at me, but I was acting as the father of a deception that she and Cam planned behind my back, he claimed on Instagram Live, referencing his own documentation. Supporters flooded the chat channel, yelling, "King, don't give up. You're worthy of better treatment." The history fell apart in real time. The more TikTok editors pieced together, the more Jim spilt his guts, and the more Cam had to suffer for his betrayal. Millions of people are caught in a never-ending loop of pain and nostalgia by videos of him crying with old dips and set footage, the partial bank ledgers that the whistleblower provided with that PR file, transfers made under false pretenses raised suspicions among tax inspectors, PayPal, bills totaling $2,500 from catering stacks. Payments to the IRS and FBI were wired to an LLC called Harlem's Events under the pretext of OSPI Sunrise. Word swiftly spread as the prenatal health consultancy made a breadcrumb trail with more cheese. Homeland Security reportedly conducted a raid on one of Cam's former queens' studios, 500 AMM, investigation of backup CDs. And one gossip blogger even posted a blurry picture of Etha Street, shouted at Rico, and the trespassing camera remained in place. The black SUV was parked outside, and entered. There was no freestyle clapback or shady bar at Chrissy's cousin's condo, which was in ghost mode. Claimed that her relative was being questioned by the federal government about receipts of hush money. Instagram dozen silly tweets with moopies in place of tears or laughter. For Cam, the radio silence is more terrifying than any distraction. Everybody in Harlem is aware that he is planning something risky while he is silent. Chrissy, meanwhile, believed she was abandoned to pass away by themselves after being captured on video twice in 2 days. She hid behind AA the first time. She cried in a rental car for the second time. The sunglasses she wore were too large for her face. She allegedly gave away free baby bump props to a maternity store in order to defraud them. Additionally, she abandoned the brand after taunting it with a nasty comment on Instagram before the brand apologized. "We would like Miss Lampin to rest and think." And the few people in Harlem don't even begin to tell you how troublesome Chrissy was. When the chef made Jimmy get a lip tattoo rather than a traditional wedding, which is petty accurate in Harlem-y, imagine that the beauty shop is packed with old women clucking their mouths. The unexpected turn of events transpired when a new participant, Shadows, the purported puppet master of money, made two anonymous Reddit posts and asked the intern to divulge any information on a dubious previous manager named Reggie, who allegedly managed when Reggie learnt that Cam was using hush money to fund a fake baby scheme while still owing him money. She stopped supporting Cam's traveling performances. Before Cam left him in the middle of the 2010s for stealing club checks, she seemed to grow resentful. According to reports, the individual became a full-fledged whistleblower, sending screenshots to the interns, hush tapes to bloggers, and even a voice memo featuring Cam yelling on the phone to a podcast for Chrissy was also disclosed, and when the voicemail appeared on the timeline, everyone including Mona Scott from Brooklyn to Harlem fell silent. The well-known Ring was Young.TV Ratchet Master. Continue to moan. Transfer the items. We make more. Dude. Circus reunions. Had to make a dry public relations statement when people believed she was in pain. We have no comment on unconfirmed Cess Lima overnight, and Lamin is not currently contracted with any of our performances. Girl. While the Puppet Master's receipts bounced from blog to blog, Cam lost a mid-tier alcohol endorsement, 8, and his name was surreptitiously deleted from suspected dpet.blog, and the businesses kept running away in the morning like roaches. The most heinous leak to date was kept a secret after Cam allegedly asked for a $50,000 advance in a text exchange, shared by a promoter for the anniversary tour offering the baby plan. The reaction was expected to end quickly, but at t.cam, Chrissy, and a public relations professional, saw a snapshot of a group chat that Reggie had sent to a YouTube blogger, and they discussed whose gossip blogs they would pay to remove. Any negative headlines? I included a brief note to keep Jim in the dark until the issue was resolved in case the bogus baby rumor got out of hand, was in order. You know what? Jim had learnt by now, and Dipet's once unbreakable fraternity had been shattered on a global scale, like a Harlem garbage dump? Apart from memes on Instagram, due to a potential federal tax probe, Cam and Chrissy were now worried about whether hush payments had been properly declared after contracts destroyed friendships, corporate sponsorships, and relationships with government snites. And in all of this, where was Jim? I take it he's still upset and healing. There are rumors that a new disc record called Faked and Betrayed will be released soon, and Harlem's last devoted king has entered the studio. On Twitter, a few ingenious glimpses of unpolished bars were shared with no characteristics. According to the Puppet Master Whisper Network, a final Cam and Chrissy arranged a hush agreement that hides the specifics of this clown act. Amount of fake baby money that was sent behind Jim's back and how it was laundered through fictitious charity donations in a lawyer's safe. Furthermore, if that document is published, it could bring down a number of well-known sponsors in addition to damaging Dipet's reputation. Homeland Security has already begun to sniff third and last receipts section, and the streets are drooling over it. Harlem has been waiting for this blade because even the rodents in the gutter will feel sorry for Jim Jones. If you've made it thus far without holding on to your fictitious pearls, we burn down every single secret in part 3 of this fake baby story, which leads to disaster. So get ready for the next one and pay attention. Does not simply put the final nail in Dipset's coffin, it throws the whole ecosystem of Harlem rumors into a tailspin. Recall the hush file of Reggie. Even the older people on the block are running away because it's so intense. There were hints of the so-called smoking gun. Rumors that only 2 persons possessed copies were also circulating in the streets for weeks. When Cam was having tax issues, he and a questionable entertainment lawyer used to run his side business. Harlem overlooked that when everyone's loyalty is on hold. Secrets do not remain locked away. The hush went viral without a significant tabloid drop 2 days after Reggie's group chat leak and 1 week after Jim's awful live diet tribe. There was only one anonymous Google Drive link in the private comment section of the podcast portions of each post. The link, which made reference to Chrissy Cam, or fake infants, swiftly gained international attention. It described how Chrissy Cam, a questionable object, and the gold mining contracts were signed using UndiWire instructions and a grainy PDF. Large red letters were used to stamp the final division agreement. Until the very end, Jim was kept in the dark. After all, a rumor PR fixer had cleared sponsor payments by selling the article to advertisers and hiding a side note in the same file. We took screenshots of each page. TikTok detectives tweeted real-time breakdowns and made harsh memes using old video of Jim kissing Chrissy's stomach. People all across the world gasped, laughed, and shared it with their messiest group chats after seeing the clowns and crying emojis on stage. And no lawyer was able to put it out as it spread like a digital wildfire. Outside her favorite hair shop, a hungry blogger caught Mama Jones, her mother-in-law, in the middle of a tirade. She didn't use a filter or apologize. Harlem has been waiting for those words, but she spat them out instead. AA sponsors move more quickly than any publicity Chrissy's people receive, and Jim is heartbroken, ashamed, and suffering as a result. Such a big legal fee is too much for even Cam to handle. She shared on social media that a high-end retailer was trying to sue her for she caused damage to the brand. Dot's affiliation with a fraudulent company that promoted deals on baby vitamins. Branded pregnancy photos were cancelled, so Cam had to do what Cam does best. He gave quite harsh refunds, as the story went on. Dollar for Doll chose to cry behind a lawyer's statement rather than apologizing in a sad video. "Keep going, ma'am, with your sweater half off. Loyalty has died. And he's the only person who can honestly acknowledge that he killed it himself," he said. Despite the abundance of snake and clown emojis in the comments section, half of the audience cheered as he sipped from the Ackerson cup, wearing a chain dance on his breast and grinning. At the 50,000 people who were watching him, he dubbed himself Harlem's favorite villain. "My favorite villain." Jim didn't respond, so instead of putting on another awkward performance, he did what he does best. He landed in the studio. 3 days later, an unpolished freestyle called "No." Jim's voice trembled as more puppets, a tribute to all Dipset has ever stood for, was released on SoundCloud. It was just unadulterated anguish, expressed in words without a beat. And fans in every Harlem block with car speakers were blaring the song. He shouted out line after line of treachery, phony tears, and brotherhood turns into a graveyard. By midnight, the real federal hounds emerged amid clown and sorrowful messages. And Homeland Security found suspicious money connected to Thebaga's charity fund. And news quickly went viral online that Chrissy and Cam had pushed. It turns out that their so-called Moms Foundation distributed brand checks to impoverished moms under the Boggies Corporation, but did not offer any financial assistance to them during the bump plan. Invoices. The laughs in a federal trial. Well, this is no longer a drama influence. It's wire because Harlem knows deep down that this was more than just scams and phony belly bands. The family, who had once been the final stronghold of unwavering loyalty on stage, would sell each other out for a sloppy reward. According to the receipts, the Broadbearer shop started cracking jokes about the impending Dipet reunion special, which helped to numb the grief. Lee Moo, an old detour guy who used to carry Cam's duffel bags back, emerged on a janky YouTube video that looked like a ghost, from an old MTAP credit, and a viral hashtag just when they believed the leaks had ended. When flip-phones were common, Jim claimed to have backup discs with unreleased audio notes of Cam laughing with Chrissy about baby Chabot. YDAS's files in odd tweets that suggested he had finally locked down his eternal queen while he waited in the adjacent room. Last grim joke, and even the rats had receipts, was that if the money ran out, he would either sell them to the highest bidder or, in the worst event, turn them over to Homeland Security as more evidence. And Mona Scott Young, the woman who started it, Alshi, was a ghost, with no comments or questionable reunions. Just rumors that she was on vacation overseas, paying her crisis PR team triple charges to spin every possible scenario about the fans, who stayed with Jim out of sadness, and she played that freestyle like every bark. The others just took a step back, dropping the last blade that exposed how fake devotion had always been, and some even went so far as to declare Cam the most genuine serpent Harlem had ever seen. Not even the queen of marketed reality drama could turn this rubbish into a nice episode. Arc. Federal agents shook their heads at every story and the Dipet insignia from their profile pictures. And ferocious but truthful lawyers hovered like vultures, searching for the first hush money with Sansa's communications, pinging inboxes. Reggie, the puppet master who took pleasure in all of these disclosures, vanished once more, and it is likely that they are counting the silence. Jim's final report stated that grand juries were being prepared in case any more fictitious checks for charity purposes materialized. A black square had to be printed in a tiny white font for Harlem to hear the words, "Loyalty isn't genuine," before it vanished forever from social media. He was ignoring the warning, and thousands of people comforted him while others scoffed at him. The dream had died. It did not stand for togetherness. It was just paperwork and performance. Signals. Some believe Cam has more secrets hidden away. Others believe Chrissy's attorney will get paid by all the brands that are now acting foolishly about ever working together. Alongside her. Some people think that the last they will all be buried once by scandal. He might release a mixtape with no title that details his Harlem residents will never forget they no baby bump at all. The trick BHPM streaking.